if you believe that you can be a part of this new era of AI, this new age that's like the information age and the internet age, you can be. And you can have a profound impact. Hello and welcome to Wake Up with Arghon. I'm Lauren Brown, Arghon's Chief Creative Officer, here today with
Collie Brown, Arghon CEO.
All right, so we're going to get into those questions that the public, everyone wants to know. How is AI going to affect you? The user, the average person? Is your job on the chopping block or are you safe? All right, so Collie, will AI be taking over people's jobs, and who should be concerned about AI affecting their job?
So the reality is that it's a disruptive force, and as a disruptive force, some people are going to lose their jobs and some people are going to gain. We all remember back in the 80s and early 90s when a lot of the blue-collar jobs were outsourced overseas. And now we have white-collar jobs that are being threatened with AI. AI is going to need a lot of people to actually work on AI itself. So really what I would say to anybody who thinks their job might be taken over by AI or by automation is start learning about the automation. If you are one of those employees who happen to know more about the technology, they're going to keep you. So my advice is don't be scared of it, actually embrace it, and you have a head start because it's going to take a while before, a few years before it really takes over your job. But don't be, complacent because you need to get at it right now. Start to read as much, watch our channel, because you're going to learn a lot about AI. For example, you're hearing this, you're watching us right now.
So you're getting a bit of a future awareness.
Exactly. The actual jobs that it's going to take over are varied, and it would be it would require days upon days of us talking about the specific jobs, and also the jobs it's going to create. So the more meaningful thing is to say, look, it is going to take over, it's going to eliminate some jobs, but it is certainly going to create, I believe it's going to create probably as much jobs as it takes. The one thing I'm going to say is that the jobs it creates are going to be much higher scale jobs. So somebody says, well, I'm not so, I don't have a college degree. Well, a lot of these are there's a computer side of it, but then there's also the machine side of things. So
the hardware, you mean?
The hardware, yeah. So you can become a technician and get a very well-paying job. Again, since it's inevitable, you have two options. You can sit there and say, I'm doing nothing and have it run you over, or you can say, hey, listen, I know it's coming. Let me prepare as best as I can. I say go the preparation route.
But what about the people though who say they don't know where to turn to prepare? They're watching our channel, so they're obviously ahead of the game, and that is something to, I think, take to heart. But what about people who go, again, they hear you say you can become a technician, but if no one in their family was a technician, how are they going to figure that out?
Nobody in my family built AI before, and we built one. How did I, choose to build one? Because I believed I could build one. I took the time to learn, to read lots of stuff. Actually, if there's a will, there's a way. That's as the old saying goes. And I honestly believe that if you watch our channel and you read as much as you can about AI, I think you're going to begin to see a more crisp picture of this whole AI space. And I think you're going to see where you could fit in.
Yeah.
And once you zero in on that and you see where you can fit in, then you go wholeheartedly at it. And I think you're
wholeheartedly.
Yes. Yeah. I think you're going to fare much better than most people.
What I say to a lot of my college friends who are kind of wondering, like, how can I fit into this space? I talk a lot about how much information is so important. Because AI, there's a technical side of building, let's say, the neurons so that a bit of information can have a meaning within the AI. But there's also information that we as the team creating it won't have. So a doctor will have information that we want to put into Arghon. A mechanic will have information that we'll want to put into Arghon. So the best thing as well that you can do is also just know a topic very, very well. So that might mean spending more time reading books than you usually do. Maybe that means getting into audiobooks. Maybe that means, reading a few For Dummies books and checking YouTube channels where they go into the details of how to build certain things, like a solar panel, or how to build whatever it is. But become really good at something, so that you are able to contribute to the ecosystem of AI. So all the information that an AI has, all the services, all the platforms, part of why we know it's not going to take over your life is that it's being created and built by people and the information that they put in. And our ethics as a company is to serve people, to help, to be a force for good in the world. And so if you are going, how can I not get sucked away or left behind or tossed off the train of AI? There is the becoming a technician, understanding the hardware. If you can if you can fix a car, you can work in the hardware side of AI. If you can screw in a light bulb, you can be a part of this process. If you can't screw in a light bulb because maybe you don't have arms, which is a thing, people don't have arms, there's still so much knowledge that Arghon requires.
Be the expert.
There's such an informational, there's such an informational side to it. So when we talk about, will it take away jobs and will there be no options? Essentially, everyone's stuck kind of couch potato while the machines do everything. That actually won't happen because it's not human nature, first of all, to sit around. But more than that, there are so many places that, an AI, it's a brain, it needs support just like every person needs support. There are things that it's going to require that we as a team won't be able to see, but you, the person out there, the future intern, the future employee, that you bring to the table. So when you think of the future, have hope, feel positive, and know that there is, where, like Collie said, where there's a will, there's a way. If you believe that you can be a part of this new era of AI, this new age that's like the information age and the internet age, you can be, and you can have a profound impact. So don't look at what you don't have. If it's, I'm not in IT, or I'm not an engineer, or maybe I went to engineering school but for something completely different, I build bridges. You have a place in AI because AI is going to touch every industry, from medical to entertainment to, elderly health care and prenatal care and all of those things. AI is a well-rounded, all-encompassing industry. So the bigger focus is get information, make yourself indispensable. Make yourself so necessary to, the world with what you know that you can't help but be useful to AI. And if you don't like books, start liking books, because as much as this might be a new experience where we're going beyond the browser now, you can just talk to Arghon and get all of this information. Books are the original source, so get on that, read, start learning, be involved in the conversation, and don't let it pass you by because you have a choice. Collie, how do you feel?
No, that's good. You covered quite a bit there. And again, it is about you are responsible for your own destiny. And my dad used to say that if you're part of the ideas group, your job is always secure. If you're part of the implementation group, your job can go and come. We're not talking about PhD here. You don't have to have a PhD. As Lauren said, your car. So if you think of a car is going to interact with your AI. It's going to tell the AI, when it needs service. It's going to tell the AI when it needs inspection, when it needs registration. It's going to need all those things. Those are things that if you're in that space, you can, if you are reading about that, you have an advantage over people around you. So you shouldn't be scared. Actually, embrace it. It's not your enemy. It's your friend.
Also, that's a great point. And when you bring up the car repair and different things, I'm even thinking about the fact that small businesses, they might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed too, because they're like, we don't have the budget to build an AI, like we've said before, and we're not sure what to do. Does AI take over our jobs? Will the robot with the AI in it take over our jobs? Well, the truth is, connect to Arghon, connect to AIs, because then you will be prepared. You'll have the information. So contact us, look at our information below, send us a direct message. look at our website, download Arghon at arghon.com, so that you can not only be familiar with AI, but be on it when the updates happen, when the changes happen, so you're aware. There's something to having an actual use of the product, where those questions start to fade away because you have the practical use to back up what you know. It's no longer a big black box of questions. It's now just, I actually know what the AI is. I've talked to it. I interact with it on a daily basis. I'm ready for this. So download Arghon. That's another way to keep yourself connected to the AI space, to be ready for every change that's going to happen due to AI, and be hopeful, because this is a cool thing. You're watching this channel. You're well ahead of all the competition.
That's good.
All right. So the next question here, for people who are wondering, do I watch your channel? Do I watch what Google or Apple is doing? Who do I look at? Will information come from the tech giants, or is it someone like us? How do they know where to look?
So most innovation, this is a little secret if you haven't known, but most of you probably suspected, or you've probably been part of it without realizing it. If you were ever part of a small company that was acquired by a bigger company, you know exactly what I'm about to say. And that is, a lot of innovation comes from small companies. Mm-hmm. Cutting edge innovation, and the big companies just simply come in
and buy it.
So we are, small companies give you that innovation. If you want to know what's happening in AI,
stick with the small companies.
Yeah. The big ones will. They make a big show, but at the end of the day, a lot of things are happening in the space, and you're not going to if you focus on just the big guys, you're not going to. In fact, you're going to miss so much of it. Mm-hmm. So I would say no.
Keep following us. Keep following this channel.
Follow this channel. Follow other small AI companies that are in the space. That are there are not too many of them, unfortunately. But the point is, still, a lot of innovation will come from these small companies. And we have some cool stuff, by the way, that if you stick with this channel, you'll see over time. We're going to slowly roll those out.
All right, thank you, Collie. So we've come now to the section of our episode where we like to do a game called Artificial Irrelevance. This game involves bringing up the latest headlines and hearing what our guest has to say. Is it relevant or irrelevant to artificial intelligence? You ready, Collie?
Yep.
All right, so number 1, the first article. Robots can now complete tasks by simply observing humans. And it says humans to be completely useless soon, confirmed.
Actually, some limited task. It's not a.
But is it relevant or irrelevant?
Relevant.
It's relevant, but the subtitle is irrelevant. Mm-hmm. Okay. Aussie futurist says, personal AI will be a reality in 5 years.
Who said this?
Brands and consumers will build relationships with AI, and humans may start to merge with them, says artificial intelligence expert Lisa Yearsley. Is this relevant or irrelevant?
It's relevant.
But it's also hilariously
It's funny because he might as well talk to us.
We're already personal AI. It's not 5 years, it's right now.
That's the irrelevant part, the 5 years part, because we're relevant right now. Sorry, folk.
Facebook's AI continues to fight the worst of the web. Facebook has published its content filtering numbers for the first time. It's provided an insight into how AI is helping to remove the worst of the web. Is this relevant or irrelevant?
It's relevant because, they've tried their faces, obviously. They have lots of
content,
junk.
Info and stuff.
Junk that they need to get rid of, frankly, is what it is. And so anything you can do to kind of learn about the junk and filter it out, it's a good thing. So yeah, it's relevant.
Right. Well, that's a quick one today, and it seems like they were all relevant, even if some were a little bit so-so.
Yeah.
So, and
I thought the second one was funny though.
The second one is hilarious.
Super funny.
Personal AI is here. All right, so we've come to a close with this video. I just want to tell you all thank you so much for subscribing and following us and sharing us with your friends. Keep doing it, keep sharing, keep liking. And to download Arghon, go to www.arghon.com. Download Arghon, tell your friends, and thank you, Collie, so much.
And also have your friends subscribe to the channels.
Oh yeah, definitely. So thank you so much, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye.
Bye. Subscribe to this channel, where weekly we'll explore what it means to connect to your world through artificial intelligence. And to be part of the Arghon journey,
follow us on social media.